staring at the TV in your black tank top and cute little fuzzy blue shorts. You were trying to distract yourself from your fast heartbeat. Your crush was sitting next to you, getting ready to start watching the movie the class picked out. Everyone decided everyone needed to get closer, and everyone decided that the movie night would be perfect. You had decided to sit at the end of the couch, hoping one of the girls would have sat by you so you could put your legs on them and get comfy. But Sero had sat down before any of the girls could. When they went to say something, they ended up stopping themselves, since they all knew you had the biggest crush on the black-haired boy. You watched as they all sat on the floor, laughing to themselves. You looked to see who was sitting by Sero, and it was Kaminari Denki. If he was sitting by you, you were sure he wouldn't have minded if you put your legs on him. But of course, it had to be Sero. You were too nervous to even ask Sero if he could put his legs on him. But before you could even get the nerve to say anything, you heard Mina say something. "Hey, Sero! You decided to sit in my spot beside Listener. You should let her lay down and put her legs on you," Mina said, giving you a quick smirk. Your face lightly turned pink. What was she thinking? That's embarrassing. You watched Sero turn his head to meet your glance, but before he could even say anything, Kaminari spoke up.
"Oh, Sero, if you don't want her legs on you, we can switch spots. I wouldn't mind her legs on me."
He chuckled slightly, getting ready to get up, but Sero spoke up.
No, it's perfectly fine. She can lay her legs on me. I don't mind."
He quickly blurted out, louder than he meant, which made everyone's attention go to him, and you heard all the girls laughing, making his cheeks turn a bright red.
Damn, I was actually excited to have a chick's legs on me.
You heard Denki pout, which made you slightly laugh, before turning your attention back to Sero, who was still slightly blushing. "You sure?" As Denki said, "He will switch spots." You said, hoping that he was sure. It's not like it would be weird having your legs on Denki. He was one of your close friends. Honestly, you guys were only close because you basically shared the same quirk. You just didn't become dumb after using too much of your quirk. But anyhow, you guys were pretty close, so it wouldn't be your first time. But you really just wanted to have contact with Sero, even if it was just a little bit.
No, it's fine. I don't mind.
His face blushed slightly, a little darker. You took this chance to lay down before he changed his mind, putting your legs on his thighs, while your butt was touching his outer thigh. You seen his face get darker, obviously noticing your butt was on his outer thigh. You giggled to yourself that a butt on his outer thigh would make him that much of a blushy mess. It was in the middle of the third movie you started to doze off. You tried to stay up, looking around. You were surprised that everyone was still watching the movies. Since it was the third, you assume someone would have left by now, but everyone was still there. You looked over to Sero, who was so into the movie it was cute. And that was the last thing you remembered before drifting off.
"Should we wake her up?"
Ida spoke, cleaning up the mess everyone made. Sero and Denki were still sitting where they have been all night, just staring at your sleeping face.
"No, I'll carry her to her room,"
Sero said as he made Denki get up so he could slip out from under your legs.
"She's probably tired. She's been training really hard lately. Did you guys see her in class today? Having to fight Bakugo. She held her own with that electric attack earlier. It's weird having the same quirk as her. And it's sad that she's more powerful than me. Even more sad that the only thing that happens when she uses too much power is she gets electric burns,"
Denki said, noticing that you had a couple on your arms from earlier today.
"But it's probably really painful,"
Sero mumbled to himself as he carefully picked you up bridal style, being careful not to touch the spots that was burnt. From not only you, but Bakugo when he blasted you earlier with one of his strongest attacks. It hurt Sero to see you get hurt, but he knew you hated it when people pitied you. Ida noticed and quickly spat it out.
No! Boys shouldn't be going into girls' rooms without her permission.
Denki and Sero rolled their eyes.
I don't think listener is gonna mind Sero in her room,
Denki said, slightly chuckling to himself. He also knew you had a crush on Sero. You had to beg him to keep his mouth shut. It took a lot of homework for him to keep his big mouth shut. Sero gave Denki a weird look before walking away to take you to your room. You slightly rubbed your face on his chest. Sero stopped for a second to see if you were gonna wake up, but when you didn't, he started walking again. Once he got to your room, he carefully opened the door. Once he got back into your room, he took a moment to take it all in, before he softly put you in bed, quietly covering you up with a red fluffy blanket that was on your bed. As he went to walk away, he heard you turn in your bed. Sero? You mumbled into your pillow, waking up a little bit, looking over to where Sero was standing. Sero? You mumbled, sitting up, still sleepy as ever, putting your arms out. Sero? You whined, almost like a little kid. Sero didn't know what to do. He didn't know what was coming over you. Sero? You whined a little louder, wiggling your arms. You were too sleepy to actually realize what you were doing.
What, listener?
He managed to get out. I want cuddles. Please? He slowly nodded and went and closed the door that was open. As he slowly walked back to the sleepy girl in front of him, whose tank top strap had fallen down her arm, he felt his throat go dry. What was he doing? He knew if someone found out, they would yell at him, but he couldn't let down his sleepy crush. Yes, Sero also had a crush on you.
I don't sleep with a shirt on. Is that okay?
He mumbled. You just nodded, and he quickly took off his shirt. And with that, you moved over to one side of the bed so Sero could lie down. Once his body was in bed, you wrapped your arms around him, laying on your side as he laid on his back. Once he was all settled, you laid your head on his chest and quickly fell back asleep. And when Sero's nerves calmed down, he did too. Listener, time to wake up! Mina, and for some reason Denki, was with her. Both of them were yelling, running into your room. But Mina quickly went quiet while Denki started laughing. But quickly, Mina joined in the laughing. You slowly rubbed your face on Sero's chest, trying to adjust to the sudden noise and light. Shh, I'm sleeping, you mumbled before you noticed who you were laying on. And in that moment, you quickly sat up. And at this moment, you were fully awake. Your face went completely red as the black-haired boy's eyes slowly opened. So, did you guys do anything? Mina and Denki were still laughing, making your face go redder than it already was.
No, we just cuddled.
Sero mumbled, slowly standing up, rubbing his eyes.
I wouldn't take advantage of listener.
He yawned before turning to you, who was looking up at him. He quickly became a blushing mess, looking down at his crush, who he just cuddled next to all night. He went to say something, but all he could get out was,
Well, when I took you to bed.
He stopped and looked away. He couldn't look at you. This was kind of embarrassing for him. No matter how much he loved cuddling, he knew how it looked.
You kept saying my name, and then you wanted me to stay and cuddle with you.
He mumbled out, making Denki laugh louder. I believe it, Mina said, looking over at you. She loves cuddles, and she does like you. And she does do odd things and say odd things when she's sleepy. Your whole face turned bright red. She just told him you liked him. Mina! You stuttered out. You heard Sero slightly laughing.
No, listener, it's okay. I have a crush on you too.
He looked over at you and gave you his cute big smile. You looked down, and without thinking, you spit it out. So, would you want to be my boyfriend?
Yeah, I'd love that.
And his smile grew.